recording? I don't know. Okay.
In the newer office.
That's
all.
April 20th, 2021. This is a meeting of the Hannah City Village Board. Call this meeting to order. Ask that you stand for the pledge and a moment of silence.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, you may be seated. Welcome, everyone. Again, since we are under the COVID mitigation standards, we are conducting this meeting in person and via Zoom. So I will go around the room and have everybody say their name and their position so that everyone out there in Zoom can see who's here at the board meeting, and then we will introduce the people on Zoom. I'm Fred Winteroff, Mayor. To my left is
Ryan Baylor, Village Administrator.
Deanna Hoopengarner, trustee.
Caleb Johnson, Trustee.
Lori Braden, treasurer.
Bill Spear, trustee.
Bill's up there on Zoom.
Tony Fricksell, Trustee.
Go ahead, Todd. You're muted. You're muted, Todd.
Todd Gates, trustee. Sorry.
Todd Weaver, trustee.
Myrna Pott, clerk.
Go ahead.
Denise Sidek, I'm observing the clerk.
All right. And then guests with us tonight.
Chris Maskey with the Lebanon Fire Department. Ryan Pearson, just here as an observer.
Zach Sidek, observer.
Bill McElharney, observer.
All right. And then joining us by Zoom, we've got, we'll start up in the upper left-hand corner. We got our attorney.
Mike Biggett, attorney for the village.
And to the right, go ahead, Brandon.
Brandon Lott, I'm a civil engineer with Farnsworth Group.
All right. And that should be everybody that's either here or on Zoom. Thank you all for coming and participating. We've got a lot on the agenda tonight, so we're going to try to run through this as quickly as possible. First thing on our agenda, if you look at your agenda, we need to open up a public hearing in reference to 4 different properties that have requested to be annexed into the village. All of these properties are pre-annexations, which means that they are not contiguous with the village boundaries at this time, but we still do a pre-annexation, and if they ever become contiguous, then they would be a full annexation. So at this time, I will entertain a motion to open up the public hearing.
So moved.
Motion by Fricksell, second by Weaver. Is there anyone that would like to speak to the?
Do we need a roll call?
Oh, yeah. All right. Yeah, we'll do a roll call since we're doing this by Zoom too. We'll do a roll call for all of our votes tonight. Hoopengarner?
Yes.
Johnson?
Yes.
Steer?
I said yes.
Fricksell?
Yes.
Gate?
Yes.
And Weaver? Yes. All right, motion carried. We are now in our public hearing. These 3 of these properties are on Smithville Road. They are the former Helen Dubit property. She passed away, and the heirs, her children, Dave and Debbie Dubit and Jane Fussner, are wanting to pre-annex the property that is there. The other property is on Pinkerton Road, 517 South Pinkerton Road. Thyner is wanting to pre-annex. Anyone have any questions or concerns? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion to close our public hearing.
So moved.
Motion by Hoopengarner, second by Weaver. Any further discussion? Roll call. Johnson.
Yes.
Steer.
Yes.
Frixell.
Yes.
Gates.
Yes.
Weaver.
Yes.
And Hoopengarner.
Yes.
All right, motion carried. We are now down to item number 3 on our agenda, recognition of our guests. I know several of you are here just to observe the meeting, but Chris Mansky, representing the fire department, would you like to address the board?
The fire department is asking permission to close down Main Street on June 10th. This will allow us to do our annual hose testing. We lost the site that we were doing it at in the previous years. It's an annual thing that we do every year. We have to stretch all the hose out all in one day, test it to the certain pressure, and then throw it all back on the truck. It will take approximately 6 to 8 hours to do. We have a company that comes in and does it. I have some maps that I can pass around to see what we were asking. It's basically from the post office to Hannah Street. It's typically what we do for the same thing for like the pork chop dinner is what we're asking for. The water supply line would be run in front of the firehouse from the Illinois American hydrant, so it would not cost the village any water money. It would all be run off the Illinois American hydrant. In previous years, we've had to use village water to be able to do that, so that would be a savings as well.
So you're looking at,
I believe it's a Tuesday, June 10th.
all right.
On the day.
Are you wanting the whole road shut down?
Yes. For safety reasons, we don't want any vehicles parked there. If we do have a hose that does break, we don't want to take a chance of any cars being parked along the street. It is during the day. I believe it's, like I said, a Tuesday. So
What time will you start?
I don't have a start time. I'm guessing around 8 o'clock. I'm hoping to be done by 4 o'clock or so.
June 10th is a Thursday. My only reservation that I see is the post office.
And we can accommodate the post office if we need to keep that post office open. The parking lot or the handicap spots in front of the post office, we can move it back. The people just would not be able to pull into the parking lot from Main Street. They'd have to come into the parking lot from the public parking from the alley.
Okay.
Or park in front of Buzzkirk.
Or in front of Buzzkirk's as well.
Okay. Any other comments or concerns that you see?
As long as they talk to the homeowners.
Yeah, we plan on doing that. We came to you guys first just to check, but yes, we did, just like we did for the pork chop dinner. We go to all the homeowners, explain the details so everybody had plenty of knowledge, and then check back in a couple days before so everybody knew.
Especially, Country Relics, that's going to be impacted. The tap's not going to be impacted because they're on the other street. Their parking is over there. The church won't be impacted that much. The post office, if you could keep the parking area in front of the post office clear, and then Buskirk's. The rest of it is all residences, so I don't think that would impact them that much.
I assume I would require a vote that we would need to put on next meeting.
Yes.
Chris, do you have a phone number?
309-208-8895.
So we can call you then after next meeting?
Sure.
Yeah, since it's not on our agenda to.
Absolutely. And that's why I brought it so
To
far
vote
ahead,
on.
so we have plenty of time.
We will put that on our agenda to vote on. Those are the concerns that I see right off the bat is the post office.
Yep.
And the businesses, making sure that there's a place for the people to park for the businesses. And you don't know a time, but it'll be during the day?
It'll be during the day, yes. I don't have a definitive time. I don't get that until about a week beforehand.
Okay. All right. Very good. We will put that on our agenda to vote on at our next meeting, which would be May 4th. Okay?
Thank you.
And we'll get back with you after our vote.
Okay.
All right. Does anyone else wish to address the board? All right, hearing none, we will go down to item number 4 on our agenda, approval of our meeting from our April 6th minutes. I will entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
A motion by Johnson, second by Frixell to approve the minutes of our April 6th village board meeting. Roll call. Steer.
Yes.
Frixell.
Yes.
Gates.
Yes.
Weaver.
Yes.
Hoopengarner.
Yes.
And Johnson.
Yes.
All right, motion carried. In your packets, you should have received your treasurer's report. Nothing outstanding on the treasurer's report. We'll make a note that we did receive our first BDD check from the state, a little over $7,300. It's on your report there. So that's encouraging. There's no other questions. I will entertain a motion to approve the treasurer's report and pay all outstanding bills.
So moved.
Motion by Hoopengarner.
Second.
Second by Weaver. Any further discussion? Frixell.
Yes.
Gates.
Yes.
Weaver.
Yes.
Hoopengarner.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Steer.
Yes.
All right. Motion carried. Brandon, do you have anything for us tonight? You're still muted. You're still muted. There you go.
My space bar. I don't have a whole lot, just a couple of quick things. And Brian, if I'm stepping out of my lane, just go ahead and kick me and I'll zip it up. The only two things I had was since the last meeting, we, to my knowledge, completed a submission for some grant money to help with the water tower, one of the many programs that were available very quickly there in the middle of April. I'm sure it's going to be very competitive, and you know, you never know what might happen there. But to my knowledge, that was submitted, and I don't think you've heard anything. I don't expect that you would have, but Brian, I don't know if I'm stepping out of my lane. Let me know.
No, you're good. Nothing yet.
Okay. And then the only other thing I had was we continue to work on the road program. Brian, I would suggest perhaps we have a call or a meeting here this week if we could. I'd like to be able to bring the MFT program to you at the next meeting or the first meeting in May there, so we can get rolling on that. We don't have to necessarily have everything fleshed out for the work you might be doing out of general funds. Maybe just a skeleton or an understanding of what those totals might be. But if we can identify what we'd like to use MFT dollars for, we can get that program in front of you for your consideration, get that down to the state, and be able to use those dollars during the prime of the construction season in the late summer, early fall, when that work is generally done. So again, Brian, if that's something on your report or if you have other thoughts, we can certainly talk, but that's what's on my radar anyway.
Yeah, Brandon, the only thing I would add is I've met a couple of times with the street guys, and we've pretty well got a pretty good plan fleshed out for the next 5 years. We're waiting on some data on sidewalks that we want to secure some things up, and then we would like to sit with Rod and go over that with him, and then I'll get that scheduled. So I'm going to follow up probably tomorrow or early next week with Roger, who is gathering the sidewalk data, the final sidewalk data, but we're getting close.
Fantastic. So it sounds like we're on the same page on both of the two items I had to report on. I don't have anything else unless anybody else has questions or concerns that I can address.
All right. Thank you very much, Brandon. I appreciate it. I don't think we have anything else tonight that's going to impact you. So if you want to say goodbye, you're more than welcome. Or if you'd like to stick around, you can.
I think I will head out. I got a couple things to do, but please, if you find that you need me, give me a shout and I'll jump right back on.
All right, thank you much.
Have a great evening, everybody. Bye.
Take care. Michael, what do you have for us?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Really just one main thing to talk about is our ADA compliance. So Brian and the ADA team worked on reviewing our policies, our grievance procedures, seeing if there's anything that we need to modify. So once we get those modifications kind of thought out, we can put it up for a board vote on it. Brian also prepared our ADA notice. I think that should be posted in Village Hall and on our website. And then yeah, we could I think we've adequately done our review of our policies, and now we're going to change anything, we can put it up for a vote, let the board weigh in and get it implemented.
All right, very good. Thank you, Michael. Sorry, I'm not going to let you go. You got to stick around.
I understand.
All right, Brian, go ahead.
Okay, so I don't have an actual administrator's report in this packet. Most of everything that we've been working on, all of these annexations and the road plan and ADA and all that stuff, I knew we were going to cover in other areas. Plus, we had a busy agenda, but I do have the financials for the month of March. So in your packet, you'll see that information. If you look at the first slide again, you want to look at the March all funds. So this is through the end of March. We had the income significantly was better than planned, and expenses that were significantly lower than planned. Those numbers are a bit skewed, which I'll speak to later. I've got details on each of those, but we had the income was skewed by $37,000 roughly of money that came in from the Cures fund. And then on the expense side, we did not get a bill from Illinois American, so that suppressed that a little bit. But still a positive month, just not as positive as it shows there. If you look at the next page, you can see that $38,000 on the general. And then we also have $16,806 for income for MFT that was not in the budget because we've now included it in the budget. So those are things that are making it look better than it actually is. If you look at the water bill, income of 24 and expenses of 10, so we were 13,906 to the good. We didn't get a water bill for the month. It was about $14,000. So the water price increase that we did take is putting us basically at a break-even level. So that is positive news. So that's how the month looked. And then if you flip the page, you can look at year-to-date numbers where things kind of balance out a little bit. We're still positive. Income over expense to $67,000 for the year. If you break out that detail again, you can see where we've got some things, one-time only things that are offsetting those things, both on the income and the expense side, TIF and BDD expenses that were unbudgeted, MFT income, which was unbudgeted, the COVID money that came in, which was unbudgeted. So that kind of all balances itself out. As far as cash, you flip to the next page. We had $1,247,000 in cash at the end of February. It went up by $62,000. Again, big impact of that was the MFT and the money for Cures. And then the very last page, the summary, I kind of outlined all that stuff. So we did have a positive month. We were $75,000 to the good for the month. Again, no $14,000 Illinois American invoice, which we're going to be paying this month. $37K in Cures income, which was unbudgeted, $17,000K of MFT, which was unbudgeted. You balance all that stuff out, we were still $7,000 to the good for the month, which is great. And then operationally, our biggest issue was water, but we at least are break even again. So we're seeing a trend that water is at least break even or slightly to the positive since we've taken the price increase. So that's positive.
But you mentioned that MFT is not an addition. We had that. It was just not shown up on the account.
Correct. It's just, when you look at this, it was not included in the budget. So when you see $16,000 of positive income, it wasn't in the budget. So it's skewing the budget.
But we did have it. I mean,
correct.
It wasn't just.
Correct. Yeah, it's just skewing the report in terms of making it look more positive than it actually is. Yeah, good point. Year to date, $67,000 to good. Again, Illinois American wasn't in there. And we've got the MFT and Cures income of about $150, and we've got one-time expenses for TIF and BDD of about $160. So year to date, we're still positive, just not as positive as what we thought. Water was our only operational issue, but that's starting to trend positive, so that looks good. So excited about that, and we've had positive cash flow for the month. And for the year, with the exception of the savings, it's been reduced to cover some of those one-time only expenses. So all in all, financially, I think we're trending to where we want to be.
The positive news about that is it appears that we will be ending the year in the black on a positive note. Again, with all the money that we've been spending, especially with the water tower planning and design, which was quite expensive, and establishing the TIF and the BDD, even spending all of that money, we are still trending in the black. So that's good news for us financially. Any questions for Brian? All right, moving on to our committee reports. Finance.
The only thing that I have is we do have our 4 certificates at the Bank of Farmington that are coming due. One of them is on the 21st, the other 3 are on the 22nd. When I checked rates yesterday, they're all still about the same as they were 3 months ago. They're still awful. I'd just like to make a motion for the board to allow the finance committee to renew those certificates at the best available rate.
All right, I've got a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Frixell. Motion is to allow the finance committee to renew our CDs that are coming due at the best possible rate. Any further discussion, questions? Roll call. Gates.
Yes.
Weaver.
Yes.
Hoopengarner.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Steer.
Yes.
Frixell.
Yes.
Motion carried. Anything else?
That's all I have. You have the attendance?
They didn't put that under mine.
Oh, okay, sorry.
That's under new business, I think. You're talking about the board pay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you want me to do that now, or?
Sure, go ahead.
I'd like to make a motion to approve for the board to make approval to pay the village officials.
All right, I got a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Frixell. Review your attendance report. Make sure that that's accurate. If not, let Myrna know right away. We'll roll call. Weaver.
Yes.
Hoopengarner.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Steer.
Yes.
Frixell.
Yes.
And Gates.
Yes.
All right, motion carried.
While we're talking about officials, I need some economic interest statements filed.
Do it online.
Did you do it? Did you print me off the certificate?
If
I did it.
you should have received, if you did your economic impact statement, you should have received either the yellow sheet back or an email saying that they received it. So please make sure that you get that to Myrna so she can file it. She needs to have all of those filed.
Todd, I need one. And Bill, they said even if you're going off, you should do one.
Okay.
Okay, I filled mine out this afternoon
Good.
by by the phone. So how do I get it to you?
You should receive an email once it's approved, and just forward the email to her.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. All right. Let's move on to sewer. Todd, what do you have for us tonight?
I actually don't have anything tonight, unless something come up, in the last few hours.
All right, very good. Streets and alleys.
Looks like there's a quote for culvert for Murphy Road.
In your board packets, you'll see a quote for 18-inch culvert to go underneath Murphy Road, the one that is failing. just north of 116, south of Jodan Court. There's a culvert under the road there that needs to be replaced. This is the price just for the culvert. Is that correct, Brian? Making a motion to approve the
$810.88.
All right, I've got a motion by Weaver to approve the $810.98 expense for the culvert.
Do we need more than that? Did they say this quote's gonna be good?
I think they're planning to do all the labor, but it might make sense to put not to exceed.
Yeah, we've been told our quotes are good for one day when we price materials for jobs now, so we may want to make it a little bit more because this may not be the same tomorrow.
Is this at a resident or just under the
road?
It's under the road.
under
Yeah.
Murphy Road?
Yeah. You want to bump up not to exceed 1,000?
Yeah, we can. I'm not paying any more than $810.88 for it. And I called Dick and
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what. Yeah, our last lighting, they just told us they had to hurry up and order the material because their quotes were good for one day. They got, and of course, they got them a few days beforehand. So, you know.
I mean, I'll make sure to tell them to keep it as close to this as they can.
All right, so we've got a motion to approve the purchase of a 18-inch culvert for under Murphy Road, 37 feet long, not to exceed $1,000. That was Bill's second. That was a motion by Weaver, a second by Steer. Any further discussion? Roll call. Hoopengarner.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Steer.
Yes.
Brixell.
Yes.
Yates.
Yes.
And Weaver.
Yes.
All right. Motion carried.
that's all I got.
All right. We are down to police and planning.
I didn't see any incident reports. I think we're crying free for now.
Yeah, I didn't see any either.
Kind of moved to Elmwood.
Exactly. Yeah, we got this whole slew of items to approve. Are we doing? If we do an annexation agreement, can we vote on all four of them at once? Under two, or?
All right, now we'll do them all separately because they'll all be separate numbers. Hang on just a second. Did we do any? We did not do any motions or ordinances last time, correct? No, I don't see any. Okay, so the first one is ordinance number 21-04-01. It's an ordinance authorizing entry into an annexation agreement with the Dubit and Fussner properties. There's three properties there. One of them is 12516 West Smithville Road. One of them is 12430 West Smithville Road. One of them is, there's no residence on it, so it just has an address of West Smithville Road on it. So I will entertain a motion to enter into an annexation agreement with the Fussner and Dubit property with those certain PIN numbers. We got a motion by Weaver. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Johnson. Any further discussion? Roll call. Johnson.
Yes.
Steer.
Yes.
Frixell.
Yes.
Gates.
Yes.
And Weaver.
Yes.
And Hoopengarner.
Yes.
All right, motion carried. All right, our second one is
With the rezoning.
it's the rezoning. Hang on just a second. We just have to make sure that we're doing it right. Okay. The second one is ordinance number 21-04-02, ordinance rezoning 12430 West Smithville Road. And we should have on here, the
R1.
okay, this is the two pin numbers, 29 and 31 are correct. Okay, so if you look at the exhibit, the pin numbers on that is 16-23-300-031 and 16-23-300-029. That's
On the back.
yeah, it's on the back. This is for the West Smithville Road and the 12430 West Smithville Road. Scratch out the 12516. That will be on another.
I don't think it's on there.
I don't think it's on
That's
there.
number 4.
It's on mine.
It's on mine.
Not wrong.
On the back here.
Oh,
Not on.
No. The
Okay.
agenda.
But it's just the two properties that we are going to be zoning R1. It's for the 12516 and the West Smithville Road. Those are the only two properties that will be zoned R1. That'll be ordinance number 21-04-02.
We have an extra pin number on it. Which pin number goes off?
The pin number that goes off will be the 32.
Yeah, because that'd be the first one. Okay.
All right, everybody.
12-4-30 is off then?
What'd you say, Bill? I lost you.
Yes, 32 is off.
The property at 12-4-30 is off then?
Yes.
No. 16 is off.
12516. Yeah.
12516 is off. That one is going to be zoned agricultural.
Correct.
The
12-5-16.
the 12430 and the West Smithville Road one will be zoned R1. Number 21-04-02, amending the zoning map to R1. We are down to Steer
Yes.
and Frixell.
Yes.
Gates,
yes.
Weaver.
Yes.
Hoopengarner.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Motion carried.
I have to say yes. Just calm down. Quit being such a wuss.
Now he's not.
Yeah.
All right, the next one is that third property on Smithville Road. It'll be ordinance number 21-04-03. It is for the 12516 West Smithville Road, rezoning that property as ag. I will entertain a motion to approve. that motion.
Is the descriptions right?
The description, they have all three descriptions on there.
I see 2.
So we will get that, make sure that that description fits, but it'll be,
Well, the first one we did R1 has 2 descriptions on it. 29,
yeah,
it's listed after each description, 29 and 31. But so does the one that says ag is listed as 29 and 31. It's got the exact same legals, correct?
yeah. We will, 32. It's the 29-acre
Yeah.
ag parcel there. We'll make sure that we've got the right legal description on
Yeah.
that one. I think we accidentally copied the wrong
Copy and paste.
exhibit number on it.
Mhm.
So ordinance number 21-04-03, the property that ends in pin number 32 will be ordinance number 21-0403. Do I have a motion? Motion by Frixell, second by Weaver. Any further discussion? Frixell.
Yes.
Gates.
Yes.
Weaver.
Yes.
Hoopengarner.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Steer.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Probably want to check the first one we did too, the annexation agreement. Because that should have 3 legals on it.
Should have 3 legals on it.
Does it only have 2? Looks like it only has 2. Looks like it has the same one the other ones have. They're copied all the way through, so.
Yeah. We'll get that corrected and make sure we got the right legals before we file them. Next one will be ordinance number 21-04-05. Ordinance authorizing entry into an annexation agreement for the Tyner property, pin number 16-11-400-018, 517 South Pinkerton Road. No, that would be 05. 4, I'm sorry. You are correct. 1, 2, 3, 4. This one will be 04. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Hoopengarner. I have a second. Second by Weaver. Everyone knows what we're voting on. Roll call it. Gates.
Yes.
Weaver. Hoopengarner.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Steer.
Yes.
Frixell.
Yes.
Motion carried. All right. Next one will be ordinance number 21-04-05. This is ordinance authorizing the rezoning of the said property at 517 Pinkerton Road as ag. That's the current zoning with Peoria County, so we just left it the same.
So moved.
Motion by Frixell. Do I have a second?
Second.
Yeah, I'll second it.
Second by Hoopengarner. Any further discussion? Roll call it. Weaver.
Yeah.
Hoopengarner.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Steer.
Yes.
Frixell.
Yes.
And Gates.
Yes.
All right. Motion carried. The final one on our list is ordinance annexing property owned by Eric Miller on Murphy Road, pin number 16-02-300-022 and 16-02-300-023. This would be ordinance number 21-04-06. Their legal description is on the back of the second sheet there. I will entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion by Weaver. Second by Frixell. Any further discussion? Hoopengarner.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Steer.
Yes.
Frixell.
Yes.
Gates.
Yes.
And Weaver.
Yes.
Motion carried. This property is contiguous with the current village limits, so that would be a full annexation. 690 abstentions, 0 absence. All right, very good. That went faster than I thought it would. I think that's all you've got under police and planning.
Yes.
That's enough.
I think we got them all. Phew. All right, down to water.
We got 19 shut-off notices for this month for a total of $3,218.60. There's 5 in foreclosure for a total of $1,174.09. Approximate gallons sold in water was 2,020,305. Get that, Margaret?
Yes, 2020305.
You got it.
Thank you.
Committee approved one check in the amount of $100 for escrow refunds. And that's it on water.
All right. Buildings and grounds. Bill, you got anything for us?
No, sir, I don't have.
All right, very good. Okay, we'll move right along. We are down to other business. We've already taken care of board pay. Next thing up on our agenda to vote on is the managed service proposal from Pearl Technology. We passed that out at our last meeting to give you a chance to review it and come up with recommendations, or if you want to vote on it at this time. At this time, I will entertain a motion to approve the technology managed service agreement.
240.
What'd you say, 240 a month?
Yeah.
Plus the $500 initially?
If we only do the 1 year.
Hearing nothing. Do we have anyone willing to make the motion? All right. Hearing none, we will move on. Next thing on our agenda is the fireworks sales permit. We've had a request that was brought up to you at our last meeting also in reference to a permit to sell fireworks. Boomtastic, which has done it for the last 4 years, something like that, has requested a fireworks retail permit. I will entertain a motion to approve such permit.
So moved.
Motion by Frixell.
Second.
Second by Hoopengarner. Any further discussion? Roll call. Johnson.
Yes.
Steer.
Yes.
Frixell.
Yes.
Gates.
Yes.
Weaver.
Yes.
And Hoopengarner.
Yes.
All right, motion carried. Next thing up on our agenda is the employee handbook, the PTO language that we discussed at our last meeting. You should have copies of pages 32 through 35, which are taken from the employee handbook for your review. I think this captures everything that we discussed. I will entertain a motion to approve the updated employee handbook, specifically the PTO language.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Johnson, second by Hoopengarner. Any further discussion? All right, where are we? Steer.
Yes.
Frixell.
Yes.
Gates.
Yes.
Weaver.
Yeah.
Hoopengarner.
Yes.
And Johnson.
Yes.
All right, motion carried. Next thing on our agenda is a request to purchase a laptop for the village treasurer. at a cost of $1,031.90. I'll see the information in your packet. I will entertain a motion. Motion by Weaver. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Fritzell. Any further discussion?
What was the price?
$1031.90.
That's this Tony's part.
Yes. Very top. All right, let's roll call it. Fritzell.
Yes.
Gates.
Yes.
Weaver.
Yes.
Hoopengarner.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Steer.
Yes.
And we started with Fritzell. Okay. Next is the request for community money for sponsoring the Tee It Up for the Troops. We sponsored it last year and they didn't have it, so they gave us our sponsorship back. This will be out of the fiscal year next fiscal year starting in May, or would it be in this one?
It would be this one. Still.
Okay, so this would be out of our current fiscal year budget. Entertain a motion to approve a donation.
How much is it?
What was the donation, Tony? I think this is coming from you.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on what the board wants to do. I mean, I will have no input. I'll be abstaining from the vote. But it's just whatever the board decides. This year, we're only holding one course, so we've lost a lot of sponsors last year with COVID. So anything that the board is willing to do would be greatly appreciated.
What did we do last year?
I think we did 1,000 last year, didn't we?
So,
Make a motion, we do $1,000.
All right, I've got a motion by Weaver to donate $1,000 to the Tee It Up for Troops of Central Illinois, sponsoring their golf outing this year.
Second.
Second by Hoopengarner. Any further discussion? Roll call. Gates.
Yes.
Weaver.
Yes.
Hoopengarner.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Steer.
Yes.
And Fritzell.
Abstain.
Motion carried. Had a request for the National Day of Prayer, which will be held May 5th. They're requesting to use the front area out by the flags, but if there's inclement weather, to move inside to sponsor or not to sponsor, but to allow them to use the city property for the National Day of Prayer. Again, this is something that we've done for the last 20-some years, as far as I know. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion by Hoopengarner, second by Fritzell. Any further discussion? Roll call. Weaver.
Yes.
Hoopengarner.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Steer.
Yes.
Fritzell.
Yes.
And Gates.
Yes.
All right. Motion carried. For those that are observing us tonight, we went through a lot of this stuff very quickly. That's because the board members have the information ahead of time in their packets. They've reviewed what's up on the agenda and what we're going to be voting on. So a lot of this stuff has already been discussed at a previous meeting, and then we bring it up at the next meeting basically for a vote. That way our meetings kind of move a little quick. If you're a little lost trying to figure out what's going on, you're probably lost. The more meetings you attend, the more you'll understand exactly what's happening.
Does anyone have any questions?
We will be going into what we call an executive session here, which we will ask you guys to step out while we discuss some matters related to personnel or there are certain matters that we can discuss that is not open to the public to discuss, employee discipline or financial matters or selling of property. Actually, the things we're going to be discussing tonight are reviewing the minutes from previous executive sessions. And so we'll have to go through those to decide whether or not we will be releasing those to the public at this time. So before I ask you guys to leave, does anyone have any questions? I know we will be having 3 open positions on the board that will have to be filled by an appointment. Tony Frixell will be our new mayor. This is my last meeting as mayor. So Tony Frixell will be taking over as mayor, and he will be the one appointing those for the new positions. So if you are interested, after sitting through this this meeting, if you're still interested, Tony, why don't you give them your phone number?
Yeah.
And make sure.
The reason I'm here is I have a new neighbor, Ryan Pearson, and he is interested. And I want to.
Thank you, Phil.
All right, very good. You're not on the board?
Well, I think I'm over the hill.
Okay. Make sure you sign in. So what we'll do is we'll give your phone numbers. Did they put down their phone numbers on the? No. Why don't you have them put down their phone numbers on the sign-in sheet, and that way Tony can contact you.
I do have Chris's. He gave it to me.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, you gave everything to me.
And
Years.
I've had the same phone number since I was 18.
So
You're 28 now, Chris?
Oh, yeah. What's that?
You're 28 now?
Yeah. 2 years old.
We just needed the board people.
right.
Yes. We know Phil.
We know where he lives.
Yeah.
All right. At this time, I'm going to have to ask all the guests to leave as we go into executive session. If you want to stick around, you can. We cannot take any action in an executive session, so when we come back from an executive session, any action that we discuss, if there's going to be any action taken, we have to do it in open meeting. But we will not be, the only action on our agenda for tonight is reviewing our minutes from our previous executive session meetings. We have to do that every 6 months. So, thank you all for coming. I hope you found it interesting enough to decide that you might want to join us, and
Thanks for coming.
help us out. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Nice to meet you.
And Chris will get back with you after the next meeting.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.